YouTube people, I have done the impossible. I made a profit ripping wax. I know. This video is a long time coming. This process, and this just kind of goes to show you, when you rip product, it could take a while before you actually sell everything from it. Now, this one had a hitch thrown in it because of a damage replacement, and I was waiting for that to come back before putting the finishing touches on this bad boy. That was the Paul Skeens out of Cactus Jack. But we have a little financial breakdown video today going over my profit and loss statement, basically, from the Fanatics Fest exclusive. Yes, all the way back in July. Fanatics Fest exclusive hobby box, 6 blaster boxes, and a Cactus Jack Fanatics Fest exclusive box. I have what I paid for everything, what I sold everything for, and then a bonus section of the YouTube revenue that I made off of the various videos associated with this project. Now, I do want to preface this a little bit. I ran as hot as you could possibly get on the blaster boxes. We'll talk about it when I get there, but you could go find the video on the channel. The blaster boxes, not repeatable how hot those things were. The Cactus Jack box was actually kind of mid, and I did okay on that. The hobby box, I got completely smoked on. I got bailed out basically by the blaster boxes, and to a lesser extent, the Cactus Jack box, which did pretty good as well. But let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's break this all down. Let's start with the Cactus Jack box. That's this top section up here. Cactus Jack box ran me basically $550 on the EQL drop. Now, I could have flipped it for around probably $1,200. I probably would have netted out about $1,000 after fees and taxes and everything. And I should note, all the dollar values that you see here are after various fees, shipping, etc. All that stuff has been deducted. So this is after eBay selling fees. I have some ComC stuff on here after ComC selling fees. That's all been factored in. You're just seeing what money actually left my pocket and came into my pocket. So for the Cactus Jack, like I said, $550. This box was actually pretty mediocre. We had a $35 Spencer Schwellenbach rookie, a Ellie base, which went for $150. This is the advantage. Another key takeaway here. This is the advantage of selling this stuff raw right at rip time versus messing around with grading. I would be shocked if a second year Ellie De La Cruz, essentially base card out of Cactus Jack, still does $150 today. You know, this happened back in late June, early July when this stuff was sold. Mace Wind Gold to 50 went for $50. This one I sold right out of the get for $150. This orange sat for a while, and I ended up running it at auction, and it went for $173 like 10 days post-release. So you could see already how much the prices swung from a base card doing $150 to an orange out of 25 doing $175 a little bit later. Trey Turner base did basically $34. This was the big one. I hit a Jack Wilson rookie, and at the time, he was presumptive AL Rookie of the Year. This was before he got hurt, and his stuff was selling extremely well. That base version of his rookie card out of here went for $422. Another one, I guarantee if I would have got cute and sent this to PSA, even if it would have got a PSA 10, I'd probably just be getting it back now. And I bet you a PSA 10 of that would probably sell for around that amount. I have no idea. I didn't look up any of that stuff to see what it's going for currently. But I would be shocked if you would be able to repeat $420 for a Jack Wilson base card. Corey Seager base for $25. And then last but not least, the damage replacement, Paul Skeens, I got back, and that sold just recently. I just shipped that out a couple of days ago. It's at eBay AG. That sold for $275 best offer on eBay, so I netted out $235. That totals up to be $1,100 or $1,123. And then after you factor out what I paid for the box, I netted out $578.49. So basically doubled up. If it wasn't for the Jack Wilson, I probably say that was just another random $20 or $30 card. I basically come out slightly ahead. But a lot of this had to do with selling it as soon as I ripped it and not getting cute and sending this stuff in for grading, which that was a decision I made at the time. I said, I just want to move this stuff as fast as possible before the hype comes off of it. And I think that is a mistake a lot of people make, though maybe people are getting a little smarter about it, is a lot of this stuff, we fall into the trap of grading. You're probably actually better off to just go ahead and sell raw. I was curious. I got curious. I went and looked. This card right now, raw, currently sells for $100. There is actually a PSA 10 sale of it that I found at auction, which surprises me. This was back in August, probably right when he got hurt. Went for $123. So a PSA 10 went for $123. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Sometimes you are better off not to get too cute with the grading aspect of it and just sell it right off the get. Here's another good example. This Ellie De La Cruz base card that I sold for $150 just sold a couple of days ago in a PSA 9 for $23. And I sold it for $150 at release. And that was a best offer, buy it now, if my memory is correct. So if an interesting experiment here would have been to total up what these things sell for today. Now, this one is a recent sale. The Paul Skeens, that just sold this week. Everything else here happened way back in the summer when this product first released. So kind of crazy that is that big of a swing. I am not that surprised by it at all. All right, so that one we doubled up on. Let's look at just the regular Topps product. So I mixed in, just to keep it simpler for my own math, the hobby box and the 6 blasters all in the big one lump sum. I will say my hobby box, I got smoked on. The hobby box ran me $330. I know the 2 big cards that I pulled out of it. The Hae-San Kim orange to 25 that I sold for $97, and the Kyle Manzardo gold, which I sold for $15 on ComC. That's what I netted out after ComC fees. So basically that $320 box, I made about $115 on it, essentially. I'm actually closer to about $110. I got killed on that. This, the blaster boxes, is where we made our hay. If you don't remember, or if you missed the video and you don't want to go check it out, in those blaster boxes, we pulled the Lubob Swinging for the Stars red. That sold for $90. We pulled an Ellie De La Cruz Barry Larkin numbered to 10. $450. I sold that cash at the National. Judge. This was the same blaster box, these 2 cards. Just one blaster box was these 2. Aaron Judge Swinging for the Stars, red refractor to 5. I did grade that on site at the National at CGC. That ran me about $27. I sold that for $650 cash. These 2 alone basically carried the weight. Other cards of note, Corbin Carroll Swinging for the Stars went for $29 at release. I bet you that's a couple dollar card now. A Ben Rice orange to 25 relic with a nice pinstripe relic sold for $22. I already mentioned the Kyle Manzardo. And then I have $40 here for various ComC sales. I had a bunch of 1 to 5, maybe even a couple of $10 cards that I sent into ComC and sold on that platform. Those all totaled up to $40. was probably like a dozen cards, maybe, with, like I said, jumping all over. There was like one $10 card, a couple of $5 cards, and then a handful of $1 to $2 cards. So that totals up to just under $1,400. These cost me, including the grading fee, $680 for a profit of $711. And like I said, these two cards, that one blaster box, is what did all the work, because that was basically $1,000 right there. If you just knock these two monster hits out, which is extremely hard to pull, I'm immediately in the red $300. If you just put in any other two random things, even if they're relative hits, the fact that we got super lucky and pulled two monsters out of the same blaster swung this whole section of the graph. Now, even if these were average, say this ended up being about $100 total, and I knock about $1,000 off of this, maybe like $900 off of this, combined, I probably still would have broke about even, because of the profit that I made here. But I cannot, once again, I cannot stress this enough, how lucky I was to pull these two cards out of the same blaster. And that shows you how swingy this stuff could be. Now, let's go to what I've always labeled this as, the cheat code, the YouTube revenue. Now, it's not a lot, but it does add up. And this is something, the reason I call it the cheat code is because not anyone can do this. Not anybody can post a video to YouTube and earn revenue off of it. You have to build an audience, go through all that rigmarole. You could get there. It just takes a lot of time. Not everyone can just flip a switch and immediately go do that. So I always classify it as a cheat code. I don't usually factor it in to the primary of this, but I do like to show it because some people are interested by it. So I posted 4 total videos from this. There was the Cactus Jack box opening, there was the hobby box opening, and there was the blaster box opening, and then there was the just very recent damage replacement video, which went up just last week. So the breakdown on those, and this is also a good little showing for, people think, oh yeah, you get the rip wax on YouTube and make a ton of money. All right. The blaster box video got 4,000 views, 4,200 views. 4.2 is 4,200 views. I gained 20 new subscribers off of that. That's actually a pretty decent chunk for one video. I earned a whopping $46.76 off that video. So those blaster boxes ran me $326, and I made $46 back in YouTube ad revenue on top of it. The Cactus Jack video performed extremely well. Got 11,300 views, 32 new subscribers. Once again, that's a lot for that video. And pretty decent ad revenue, made almost $80 on that. Now, technically, these videos will still earn ad revenue, but the amount of views that I get per month on these, we're probably talking about like 10 cents, legitimately. They'll slowly tick up over time. You got to remember, these ones have been live for a few months now. So that box cost me $540, and I made $80 back of that in YouTube ad revenue. The hobby box opening tanked. Got 2,000 views, 5 new subscribers, made a whopping $16.84. That hobby box ran 300 and some bucks. So that video just did not perform very good. Maybe it was a little bit of the title, maybe it was the thumbnail. I think it was the last one that I had posted after all these. It's kind of the most basic. We didn't hit anything crazy, so I couldn't put like a oh my god face on the thumbnail. For whatever reason, that video did not perform well, and I made a whopping $16 on it. The damage replacement video. I don't know what it is about damage replacement videos, but people love them. I have done a handful of damage replacement videos over the years, and they have all performed extremely well. This one has just under 6.5K views, and it's got me 9 new subscribers. I will note, this video has been up for almost a week at time that you're watching this. it's actually still trickling in views. It's getting about like 20 views an hour, which probably meaningless for 98% of you. But for a week post release, for this video to still be pulling in 15 to 20 views per hour is actually really good for most of the content I make. Most of the views happen in the first day to day and a half. That's where a bulk of them roll in, and then they kind of trickle out and die because most of the videos that I'm posting are not evergreen videos. They are very much in the moment type things. That one has netted me about $50. And it's also, you could see the YouTube thing is fickle. This one had 4.2K views, got me $46. This one has 6.4K views, got me slightly more than this one with an extra 2,000 views. It's just the way YouTube works. It's super weird. So out of the 4 videos, this one will probably still tick in another couple of bucks. The 4 videos combined netted me out to basically $200 in YouTube ad revenue. If you add all 3 things together, this number, and this number, total profit $1,481, including the cheat code for the YouTube ad revenue. So, not terrible. I mean, that is a huge win. This does not happen very often. You could go back. I have box opening videos of me getting smacked in the face where I have done financial breakdowns on these. The last time I did a really big one of these was a huge project. It took a ton of time. Was Topps Chrome like 2022 or 2023 when they went live at the National. I ripped like 8 boxes with the MVP buyback, graded stuff, sold stuff raw, did the whole 9 yards, did a bunch of content around it. That video is on the channel. You could go find it. And even with everything I could milk out of opening 8 boxes, including YouTube ad revenue, I think I broke even or close to even. It was not great. And to be fair, I pulled like crap out of those 2 boxes, but let's be honest, that's how most of them go. This is the exception. I cannot stress that enough. This is not normal. Once again, if you just factor out those 2 big hits, I am basically up 400-ish, maybe $500-600, depending on what you replace those with. Hitting a $600 and a $400 card in back-to-back packs out of the same blaster box is not normal. And then I also, got the CGC 10 grade. Maybe I could have, there's a lot of debate. Could I have got even more for this card if I sent it to PSA and graded it and got a PSA 10? Maybe I left money on the table. Maybe the person that picked this up sent it to PSA and got a 10 out of it. I don't know. But I took the immediate, nice, quick hit on the profit. I sold this at the Shipshawana show about a month or so after, or a couple weeks after the National. I think I had the card in hand for, I don't know, maybe 2 months total from the time that I pulled it. I had this one on eBay for a while, got some nibbles, but 1 or 2 serious offers. I had a couple people reach out to me on IG that were pretty close. I got real close on one deal for almost 700, and the person backed out on me right at the last minute. And that's when I was actually while I was at the Shipshawana show. And then I ended up just selling it at Ships for $650 cash and was perfectly happy with that. So that's where this all netted out. That is the end result. Once again, took a lot of time. Now, this would have wrapped up a couple of months ago if it wasn't for the damage replacement, but that is something to factor in here. And I think the 2 key takeaways, besides every once in a while you're going to get lucky and it's going to throw things off, the real big one here is just sell it raw. I mean, maybe that's worth a video, just going through what I sold these things for raw at release versus what they go for now, raw versus graded. I don't know. I'll dig into that and see if there's something there, but just a lesson to be learned there. You don't always have to grade. That's all I got for you, boys and girls. As always, curious for your thoughts and comments down below. Peace.